What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Triton Super High Roller Series. We are three-handed in a £250,000 tournament, £4.8 million for first. My name is Lex Veldhuis. I'm excited to see the action. We saw lots of big pots, some excellent short deck play last time. I hope you did catch up on the other episodes, so you can watch the finale. And knowing the whole story always makes it more fun. We have Gabe Pogorski in the commanding chip lead. Justin Bonomo has been catching up a little bit. And of course we have Aaron Zunuzang, who's in third. Carry Cats just busted. Was a short stack for a while. Let's see how these three will proceed. A really good flop for Pogorski. We also immediately see the power of gut shots in this game. Of course, short deck is different than no limit hold'em. Flushes beat full houses. Deuces, threes, fours, and fives are taken out. An ace can also be a five, play as a low card, just like no limit hold'em. That's why Justin Bonomo calls here. Gut shots are very powerful. The deck is literally shorter, so it's easier to make straights and harder to make flushes. Hands also have more equity because there's less blanks out there, so very much plays like PLO. In PLO you have more board coverage because you have more cards in your hand. In short deck you have more board coverage because there's less cards in the deck.
How much?
Pogorski bets here. It's 350, Justin. Justin's still with 32%.
Tom, go talk to Peter outside.
That's an out for Justin. Flush card, of course. Gonna get the bad news. These are the kind of pots you don't want to see happen three-handed. You're happy to get three-handed, you have the chip leads. These are the kind of pots that make somebody creep up to your chip leads. You lose the kind of power to ICM pressure people.
I'll still do it.
As long as nobody's eating dumplings, I'm good with it. Full poker room. Very lucky to be able to get some cameras in there and film this pop-up tournament. Pogorski gonna raise.
Go na peixe.
Just in defense, we're gonna see a flop. Both queen jacks, only diamonds will make the difference. But this is gonna be a case of whoever wants it more gets it. Players check. Pogorski not taking the chance to try and rep an ace as pre-flop raiser. Justin's mind, that's going to mean that he actually has it a lot. Bet it. Overpairs are likely to bet the flop. And hands like queen jack and king queen try and bet on the ace a lot, but Pogorski goes for the late bet. Gets it done. Good job by Pogorski. Some other good hands get there as well, namely Jack 10. Incredibly popular hand in short deck.
You never win a tournament?
Not maybe 7-8 years.
Aaron Zhang is thinking, lol, I just won the biggest one ever. What a needle. You've never won a tournament.
Check.
We're gonna see quite some limps from the cutoff to the button. You want to call there often. There's only one person left. You get insane odds for a limp. It's pretty much small blind to big blind. No limit hold'em you want to call a lot too. This is the exact same mechanic. Then with beefier antes out there, so even more reason to call a lot. Gorski turns the straights.
没分完打，听王老师的，不跟他们分，不跟他们分。哦，这个不分了。不分打。他要多分8万块钱，不同意，一分不能多分，对吧？那你的你现在第三个两千。保三争一。
Pogorski not going anywhere. In Justin's mind, Pogorski has two random cards. He checked the big ante on the button. There's gonna be a lot of 8-7s, Jack 6, Jack 7, all those kind of hands that he can get instant folds from on that turn. But think about it, not very often will people call you with King 8 on a board that coordinated. Justin goes for the bet again, just in case he was getting called by a hand like Jack 9 or King X. An easy call for Pogorski. Has a 10. I like that bet by Justin.
6-10.
Can't make it too easy for people to just peel off one bet and then check, and you end up losing against a hand like Jack 9 for bottom 2 pair, or like a King 8, as I mentioned before. Looks like the smallest phone in the world. Playing for big money, these guys. 4.8 million pounds. Gorski, a step on the gas here. Very weak hand. I like to see it though. Makes it 7 antes. There's Paul Poit in the back. Unmistakable
他要多
voice.
分8万块钱，不同意。
分多多少？
给不，他说要 touch 不离的要多分一点，那个不那么不同意。
就是筹码不一样吗？
就按照 ICM 分，他要按照 ICM 分，他要
再分多一点
对，再多分一点。
Abe's gonna limp. Onimo with the old 3 deuce. Or the equivalent of that in short deck. Flop for Pogorski continues to check. So Onimo will gladly take a card, because that's why. How the tables have turned. Gorski gonna check off. Of course, he's not gonna go anywhere. That's the 3rd diamond, but no action on the flop, and flushes are rare. Very important to understand that there's 4 flush cards missing, as opposed to normal no limit hold'em.
$650,000.
650. Gorski underreps his hand so badly. Has the 10 of diamonds as well, which is such an important card in this case. Diamonds on boards, he blocks 10-9. Yeah, makes the call. Completely understands. You can't just check, 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 call, and then check full top pair here in a 300 game against an aggressive opponent. Just an unfortunate turn for him. So Justin gets a little bit closer to Pogorski. Did lose the one before this though. And back to the same spot, and like I said before, we're gonna see the situation so often. Like what Pogorski's doing, putting lots of pressure in position. Queen 8 does so well when you get to a flop against King 7. This way he's able to push out some of that value that Justin has with that hand. Denies him to even take a look at the flop. And again, with these big antes, it's so powerful and valuable to take pots down even without seeing flops. Aaron, I don't think has a hand yet in three-handed play. It's good to see a flop here though. Oh. No raise from him. It's a straight draw for Aaron. Pogorski with the reverse blockers. Has all the cards you want your opponents to have on this board, so that's usually not a good time to start bluffing. Just limp a lot of Jack X combinations or hands that could make two pair on this board. Aaron there with the straight. Very comparable to the situation that Pogorski was in vice versa against Justin Bonomo. Now he's the one trying to rep a straight, possibly barreling again on the river. This river definitely less appetizing to barrel because it's easier for full houses to be there and also for a king to hero call. Always feels better to call with trips on a straighted board than with top pair. Ace high, loud and proud. Slams it on the table, but no good. Chino Zhang catapulting himself into the top earning tournament players in the history of poker with that win. Almost $17 million. Chop with Bryn Kenny. Heads up. And saying ace high is still out ahead. At this point, you almost feel like you're protection betting. Gonna have the best hand a lot on the flop, but if I check and anything but my Ace or queen rolls off. I'm gonna have a tough time calling. Or I could be trailing. I really like this kind of move. It's also unlikely for Pogorski to have a 6 there, so not a whole lot of chance of getting check raised. Bonomo taking a closer look. No stranger to being three-handed in big tournaments. It's kind of absurd that first place prize is well over $5 million, and for 2 out of 3 players, this is not even the biggest spot they've been in a tournament in their career. Top pair for Bonomo. Very playable hands here. Everybody electing to limp or check before the flop. Protection bet by Bonomo. Gets it done. Up towards the 7 million mark now. Slowly but surely. Edging his way forward. There's lots of ebbs and flows in action in short deck. When there's a few stacks with 30-40 antes, it can get really wild. Then when pay jumps come in, and usually at the end of the tournament, people are going to be deeper. We're going to see a lot of limp pots, but it also shows us a lot of marginal situations.
No, I'm feeling great. Even better. We got a good chance of Aaron falling asleep. And then we're really earning.
No.
I've dropped 8 million on the all-time list this week.
Oh.
I got catching up to do.
Brutal, brutal.
Aaron had a long week, but a good one. It's gonna call. You want to be a bit careful with lower pairs. When you get it in with sets, people are usually doing pretty well against you. Also, you're gonna run into some higher sets when the money goes in. What a flop for Pogorski. Aaron Zhang is going to go for some protection here. See if Pogorski wants to play this a bit fast. He does have position, which is always great. It does. Makes it 475. People do tend to raise 6x here for protection because other hands have an insane amount of equity against your hands, and by making sure that they don't get to see a turn, people raise with their 6 a lot. Aaron makes a really good laydown. Sniffs it out. The problem with this game is when you call with marginal hands is that people do have a lot of equity against you. So that means that even though you might make a good call on the flop, if they check the turn behind, all of a sudden you have to fade over cards on 2 streets. And your hand becomes very hard to play over multiple streets. Also, again, 2 playable hands. I like what Pogorski's doing. He's the one doing most of the raising from the cutoff to the dealer position. Hasn't really faced much opposition yet so far doing it. Very good hand for Aaron to just see a flop with, no need to raise. He's a little over 80 antes. Definitely, oh my goodness. Bottom 2 pair for Pogorski. Aaron Zhang with the nuts. Can't make a royal because of the 10 of hearts of Pogorski, but he's going to be happy all the same. Makes the call. Some saving grace for Pogorski. Pogorski also doesn't have to worry about the 10 pairing. The 10 of hearts is in his hand. So any 10 he hits is good. Of course, Aaron Zhang with the royal flush draw. Isn't gonna happen as we know. This is quite an annoying card for Aaron. It might cost him a lot of action. On the flip side though, if he could be against another queen, he would be free rolling with the heart draw. But there's very few times where you're gonna see that perfect card on the turn. Short deck, bet 600,000. This is a very hairy situation for Pogorski. Always very impressed how he navigates through these spots. Gets away from it, it's nicely done. Not easy, three-handed. It's awesome to see Pogorski play so deep in the tournament. Always very enjoyable to watch him at the start, very talkative. Great to have on the table for dynamics. Takes his losses like a champ. Gives lots of action. Remember when we watched I forgot what it was, of 40 antes, like 200,000 behind, 40, 50 antes deep or something. It was unbelievable to watch the action. He was in the middle of it, gunslinging. Pogorski limps here with the ace king. Might find some bait for Justin, but they check. Justin not gonna bump it up with Jack 10. You see players take a very different approach pre-flop with that hand. Justin best now. Look at Pogorski's chances to win, guys. I keep hammering on it. 32% with 2 10s dead. Think about that for a second. Still 32%. Gonna lead at it. Aaron is gonna call. Justin gonna be very tempted as well. Deal Justin bottom of glance. He's in. That's a bummer. Pogorski. Looks like he's firing again. Yeah, I would think that people would you really want to have some sort of 10 in your hand to be able to bet this, because it gives you a nice draw, a nice emergency straight draw, and it blocks people having it. Also, it blocks a lot of hands that want to continue it, just like the Jack 10 here. So Pogorski betting a little bit with those reverse blockers. But it is three-handed, and he is drawing to the nuts. Little does he know, an ace or a king would be good too. Justin not going anywhere, he has position. It's another 6. Brickiest board I've ever seen. A short deck. Pogorski gives up.
Ace.
Justin gives up. Let's go to showdown. That's gonna be a nice spot for him. And here we see Justin getting awfully close. This is not a good feeling for Pogorski, but he still has a lot of chips. He's still in position, and there's still somebody with a lot less chips. So that's all good. Again, playable hands. Justin Bonomo. Almost say on the dealer again with Jack 10. What is this wizardry? Top pair for Aaron. Bonomo with a strong hand as well. Middle pairs are really good in games like Omaha and short deck, because you block 2 pair combinations. And you unblock weak top pair combinations, just like Queen 9, that you could possibly barrel in the future. See lots of good players use a second pair. Say like King Queen on an Ace King 7 boards. Lots of people play the King Queen as a bluff. It's a pretty nice card for Aaron. His Queen is not good. He has some straight outs now. Doesn't need them. But it diminishes the chance that Justin could win this through a bluff. Go ahead and keep firing. As Justin dominated in a really nice way. He blocks a 9, which is a possible out of Justin, and Justin can't hit a jack, because then Aaron Jang would make a straight. Does make the call. Another brick, wow. Does complete a backdoor flush, but even regular flushes are rare, let alone a backdoor flush. I think it's of too much concern. Always plays a part though. Especially because Aaron just made a flush. Look at that. Superstar commentator at work. I was so focused on the straights because I feel like this game is all about straights. Flushes are like the secret little prize. And very confidently can bet 2 million now. The nice thing for him about the board pairing is that flushes do beat full houses. So no matter what happens, Aaron is not going to let go of this hand. Of course, that spade made his barrel on the turn a lot easier as well. I feel like flushes are like unicorns or something. You rarely ever see one.
Why not?
So rare in this game. With the 4 outs to every flush missing. Of course, because of his short deck. Uses 3s, 4s, and 5s are gone. Alright, so everybody guaranteed £2.2 million. We're playing for a £1.2 million difference in prize money. That is normally what you win in a big tournament. It's a pay jump here. Gorski's still in the leads, especially after that last hand. Gives him a little bit of breathing room again. Aaron Jang more in it now, but everybody's still deep. Soup.
Oh, good.
Fruits? What a nerd. What's that, man? Aaron limping with the King Jack. Bonomo also going along. Really like what Pogorski is doing pre-flop. Oh. Aaron cutting out a raise, or is he checking to see how much he has exactly? This would be really interesting. Makes it 1.6 here. Make it bigger. And that's where it already gets awkward, right? Like, what do you do? Like, make it 1.6 to 500,000? That's why it's such a good raise from Pogorski. It's so awkward for people to play against. It's like, yeah, congrats, you have 100 antis. What are you gonna do? Like, limp raise me to 30? you have to make big raises pre-flop in this game because people have such high amounts of equity, meaning that they can flop all kinds of things, and it's very good for people to call re-raises and small bets. It's very different from regular no-limit hold'em. Very oftentimes these 7-time anti-raise, or somebody makes it 7 antes, people going all in for 40, 50, 60 antes. Just because if you do make it something conventional from a no-limit hold'em perspective, like 20 antes, you'll just get called. Because people have the odds to. It's so easy to outflop hands in this game. Alamo takes that one. Let's see, antes are going up. 6120. Shout out to the production crew for letting us know how much everyone has. Best thing is to see Nanonoko stumble by doing his math work, trying to calculate how many blinds everybody has. Don't tell him I said this, but he oftentimes has his calculator from Windows open while he's doing commentary. We cry inside every time. Gorski again, pre-flop aggression, takes it down, well done. Rocking the Triton merch. Also launched at London. Of course, stay tuned. The moment that it's safe in the world and when there will be an opportunity to, Triton events will be back. There was an event planned early 2020 for Jeju, but that got cancelled because of the obvious COVID-related situation in the world. Really glad production decided to keep this material in the box for a few months, because now we at least get to see some live poker. It's refreshing to see some new content again. Aaron, 85 antes. Three. Of course, after 5 seconds, nothing happens. You owe a time bank chip. If you're out of time bank chips, only then your hand is dead. Gonna mess with the 9/8.
Walker.
Gorski, looking for some tournament success. Very successful cash game player. Two calls. Strong calls as well. Gorski with ace-king. Might see some fireworks here. We've seen Bonomo limp earlier with the ace-jack and shove against Tan Xuan's button raise.
Oi.
And he bad beat it. Xuan out of there. Aaron Zhang He's gonna do it before him. I think Bonomo might have dodged the bullet there.
Oh.
Aaron Chang all in with King 10 suited. That's a big one. 80 antes. Lots of money in the pot. Tried to snatch it. %38% still though, not out yet. Can he continue his hot streak from this week? Both players flop a king. All diamond board. Pogorski has a diamond. I see it this time.
Maybe dead on turn?
Yeah, probably.
I think you're gonna have to wait till the river.
Short deck style.
Yep.
Still alive. 输了呀，
5 outs.
输了我10K。投台资吗？
0.2 million pay jump.
投资啊。
That's not it. Ace King holds. Pogorski heads up against Justin
Congrats on a good
Bonomo.
week, man.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, pretty good week for Aaron.
Thank you, thank you. 输了。
2.2 million pounds. Not bad.
他白层一直加嘛，我那个
Not bad at all.
Gym 嘛。
Yes.
Nice finish for him.
Try to bluff me.
Oh, dumplings!
Oh, he bluff you.
Not bluff, demi bluff。
Can't blame him for that one. Can't leave a dumpling
打
on
了
a
好久
plate.
形象了，想搞一下，搞到正牌了。
And we're gonna be heads up in this 250,000 pound short deck tournament. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We're seeing some really high level short deck, and next
no, I
time will
was
be no
updating
different.
people.
2 players
I would
left,
still job for
and we have almost 5 million pounds for first place. Catch us next time for the final episode 4.